everyone and welcome back to Bardsung. Thank you very much for the support on the first part. We're going to carry on with chapter 1 today. We did 1A last time. You can just about see the story layout for the chapter up here. We're on to 1B, which largely plays out the same. It's the same type of mission we need to get from this end of the board to the far end of the board. But there's a slight difference in that if we succeed, we read out some lore, which helps us pick where to go next. And there's 2 treasure available here. So I have these painted, not painted, although I should mention the models are painted. I got my wires crossed there. I have painted the heroes. I'm not going to paint all the enemies because there's too many of them, but at least the heroes are painted. Hopefully they'll stand out a bit better now and you'll see them up close once we start playing. And I'll talk about them when I'm getting stuff painted as well. So we have these 2 treasure chest markers, and the way this works is when we lay out the board, there's 4 kind of upside down omega symbols, kind of at 4 arcs. And starting with the one most north, which sounds a bit weird, but it's actually the top right one, because there's a, so if I pull back you can just about see it top right of your screen. If I move this book here, there's a compass on the board, and north is not straight up, it's slightly diagonal. You start with the northernmost point, put the chest on it, and then go from there. I presume, because it's equidistant, actually I'll need to double check, because I feel like if you put it there it's easy to get both on the same mission, because I could just go this way and up. I'll double check. I think it has to be the top end, but the rulebook definitely says you start with the most northward one. The only other thing to cover from last time is everybody earned 1 XP for completing the encounter, and they'll do the same today as well if I win. And I was going to hoard the XP, but they all have something they can do with it, so I'm going to spend it. So real quick, I'm going to spend 1 XP to upgrade Fireball on Fire Soul to make it slightly better. It now does extra damage, it gets a reroll if the target is burned, so she should start by doing Ember first. Incidentally, I did forget that she should have been generating Fate on setting people on fire, totally forgot that, as well as stuff related to crits. We'll try and remember, but in the spur of the moment, you forget stuff. Crusader Stride is going to be upgraded for 1 XP, it says there how much you spend, you flip it over, and now it is the upgraded version. And then for Night Feather, Taunt is the only one he has that can be upgraded for 1 XP, so Taunt it is. It's been upgraded. I've forgotten what changes about this. Oh, you get +1 to your attack range, so he doesn't need to be on the same tile as the enemy is doing on, which makes it a sort of ranged attack, which I think works well with his throwing knives. Let's see, I think that covers about everything. We were chatting in the comments of the first video from other people who've also been playing Bardsung, going backwards and forth about how they find the rules, how they interpret the echo token, because it's very confusing, and what house rules they've incorporated. I was chatting to someone, I'm sorry I've forgotten your name offhand, but they've been house ruling that you don't have to keep constantly shuffling the marching order because it's kind of tedious. I kind of like the idea of that, but I'm worried it will either make it too easy or too hard depending on how difficult or lucky you get with your first marching order roll. Like if all your heroes are always first, it seems a bit too easy. Although I think they said you only shuffle it when a new enemy type is added to the marching order. I might give that a try this time, but just to be clear, that is not an official rule. I'm just going by people who have played a bit more of this than me at this point and what house rules they feel made the play experience better. Obviously you're free to do whatever you want. Alright, I took a quick look to try and find the rules for how you place the treasure icons on the board, and I can't find it. I found the bit on treasure, but that's after you find a treasure chest on a thing. So it's a case that this is what we talked about in the comments in the first video as well. You have to keep on going backwards and forwards because of the way the rulebook is laid out to teach you as you go, which is great, but then there's no kind of collated version of the rules for you to reference quickly when you're playing a proper game. It's annoying, it's something that was overlooked. They've acknowledged that it's overlooked. Apparently they're working on quick references. As far as I'm aware, they're not available yet, but hopefully down the line we'll have something like that. So anyway, I'm going to just stick with the marching order I had sitting on the table, which is Forge Warden, Night Feather, Fire Soul. I'm going to put the 2 chests are on the table, and I put it close because I just want to see how treasure works. As far as I'm aware, treasure is not a super big deal. It's more about getting skills and leveling up and whatnot, but hey, we'll see. Echo token's not really there until there's 3 boards. We started in a room, so I'm going to draw a corridor card. I have shuffled these since the last time we played. And the first corridor we're finding is that. Now, if I remember rightly, blue is a fixed entrance, so it has to be that way. but that's perfect because that means we can go over to the right and start looking for treasure. So that was Forge Warden's first activation. He should actually, or first action of his activation, he should be in here. I guess we'll make him face this way. And it means we have to draw a challenge card, and it wasn't combat, so it's a question mark 1. Apologies while I stretch over the camera here. This is it. Trapped prisoner. Okay, I'm going to have to pull this over here so I can read it. A weak voice startles you, a whisper from a hole in the ground ahead. A hero on this tile can spend an action to make a TN12 strength action roll. If they pass, gain 3 gold, then discard this card. If they fail, they suffer a status effect of some kind and exhaust 1 fate. He has no bonus to this. It says can, which implies I can just ignore it, but I'll try it, why not? TN12, what's the worst that could happen? Well, we know what the worst that could happen, we'll lose fate. I can't see what that is. That would be an 8, so that's a failure. If they pass, gain 3. Nope, if they fail, suffer and exhaust 1 fate. So I presume fate was supposed to be replenished. I'm also presuming that this can be attempted multiple times in this square because there's just a guy in a hole. So I'll leave that there. That does count as an action though. So Forge Warden is done. I need to see what that status effect is as well. So give me a second. So we're already running into some of that trademark Steamforged ambiguity because I looked up what that symbol is. And there is a summary at the back of the rulebook. I can show you right here. Once it's in focus. The status effect was this one, which is fatigue. Oh, sorry, there we go, fatigue. The target gains a fatigue token. Okay, fair enough. What does that do? It doesn't say, and this is the summary, so I went and looked at the page in the rulebook for stats conditions. It doesn't mention it at all. So presumably it's just connected to maybe there's other events where it's like if a character is fatigued, something worse happens. I don't know. It doesn't say. So I'm just going to carry on. And Forge Warden is fatigued, whatever that means. And it is going to be Night Feather. So first of all he's going to move, and he can move 3, so he's just going right over here, and he's going to ignore the trapped prisoner, and he's going to do an explore action so that we can get a room, and if the room is large enough it will touch the treasure chest, which means the treasure chest will be in that room on the Bardsung symbol. So we draw a room card, and it's going to be a dead end. Oh, that really sucks because that means I can't get to the treasure. I was checking to see if it was the same number as last time, because for whatever reason I remember that the dead end last time was 17, but nope, because this is 13. So it's a dead end. There is a solution. His turn's over, either way. There is a solution. These blue doors, which if I move forward, so these blue doors, if you use a toolkit on them, they become a passageway, because they're secret passages. That might get me over there. Do I want to use a toolkit though? Because we used 1 last time and then I think I bought 1 back, so we're back up to 2. Yeah, I think I am. So Fire Soul's going to go. She's coming in here, and for her other action she's going to expend a toolkit to activate the secret door. I'll double check if there's any other rules required for that, and then we'll carry on. And in case it isn't obvious, I'm going to be ignoring the man in the hole. Yeah, I double checked, and using a secret passage as a portal to explore a new room is treated exactly the same as if you were using a normal portal, i.e. an exit of the tile you're on. The only difference is you have to expend the toolkit. So we're still in a corridor, so I'm still drawing a card. Don't be a dead end, please. It's a room. Does it have combat? It doesn't have combat, it has a challenge. That's interesting. Okay, well let me get this set up. Alright, we are bereft of combat and it's a very large room, but there is only a challenge for Fire Soul to do, so I'm going to draw the card. Here we are here. And it is Deathly Silence. That's incredibly apt. Oh, I've been forgetting that for doing challenges you sometimes get gold. For the other one, you have to actually do the thing. For this one though, the silence is deafening, the air dead and lifeless. Sinister shadows dance at the edge of your vision. The heroes can't rest on this tile. That means using a bonfire. If one or more heroes are on this tile at the end of the round, subtract 3 from the event roll. We only start doing the event roll now. Okay. So I presume this counts as being done. Oh, actually no, it has the little timer. So it's at the end of the round, but this is the end of the round, so I believe it's now done. If there's 1 or more heroes on this tile, yes there is. So minus 3 from the event roll, making it more likely the echo token will move, or rather in this case appear, because it hasn't appeared yet. That was already going to appear, so the echo token has entered the dungeon. We'll definitely be encountering that next round. I know you can't see where I put it, I just put it on the entrance stairs. We get 1 gold for that, which puts us up to 4, because I kept 3 last time after spending a little bit on replenishing toolkits. And I'm just going to leave the same marching order for this turn. There's no enemies, so there's no tactical advantage. We have to shuffle it if we get enemies anyway, and that's going forward going to save a bit of time, I feel. Alright, the man in the well. You know what? Forge Warden's going first. Forge Warden is going to try and rescue him again. It's TN12. He actually got a 19 and did it. So what was the reward for that again? If you pass, gain 3 gold and discard this card. 3 gold, I'll take away 2 copper that we have because that'll give us a silver, which is worth 5. If I can find one somewhere here. There it is. Oh, actually no, sorry, they're gold. Either way though, that's good. I also didn't realise they're actually double-sided. The more you know. So that was his first action, that counted as an action. Second action, he's just going to do a move, which for him is 2 tiles. So 1, 2 into here. Then it would be Nightfeather's turn. He'll move for his first action, he gets to move 3. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so this tile's a little warped. And then he's going to do an explore on the only other door in this tile. We have to draw a corridor, which is fine by me, because that might get us to the treasure that's on this symbol here. And we need to try and get away from the Echo Token, because we're technically in the same area as it, so if it activates, we're fighting. Well, potentially fighting. It is... Oh, it's a corridor with combat. This is going to be a tight fit. If I turn it... Oh, that's interesting. If I turn it this way, it'll get us to the chest, but then we'd have to go a really convoluted, potentially dead-end way around, so I'm going to have to not do that, and we'll just go for the other chest. But at least we're getting combat. Alright, let's see what happens. Alright, combat is set up and good to go. 2 brigands, 1 raider. The raider is on the closest tile here with, well, that's the raider, brigand, and another brigand over there. We need to draw a combat challenge card, so let's do that first of all. But then Swift Reactions gets to kick in for Nightfeather, where he gains dodge, so he can move to an adjacent tile. Or zone, I should say. Disciplined Foes. Didn't we have this in the tutorial? Non-wandering monster enemies add +1 to their target number while they're in the same zone as 1 or more enemies. Okay. I'll leave that there as a reminder, hopefully. We did get that in the tutorial, incidentally. And his dodge is going to kick in. He's going to go back here. And then for his other action, he shall expend Fate to throw a throwing knife at the raider. Oh, sorry, no, his dodge kicks in, but we have to do a new turn order. I'm forgetting. No, the marching order has to go, so I have to shuffle in the raider and brigand cards. Never mind. His other action might get eaten up, or he might get technically a double turn, depending on how this goes. I'm not looking. The new turn order is whatever the order is now. Okay, he is actually getting a double turn. I swear I wasn't looking. Nightfeather, Fire Soul, Brigand, Raider, Forge Warden. Is the new marching order, and I'm going to stick with that until such time as a new enemy is added, but that might be the end of the turn, honestly, because I think the Echo Token is going to come get us. So it's his turn again, so I wish I hadn't retreated now, but couldn't have known. He'll chuck a throwing knife, which is range 2, it costs 1 fate. Yeah, how does he replenish fate anyway? Oh yeah, if he crits an enemy, that's right. So, throwing knife. Oh no, it's +1 to his hero's attack range. His normal attack range is 0. Ah, I shouldn't have dodged. Well, he'll move back in and then chuck a throwing knife at the raider, which normally would be a target of 10, becomes an 11, but he's getting a +2 to this roll, which was off camera. It was a 19, so he's hit anyway. Was it a crit? A 5? Yeah, they're toughness 4. So it is a crit, and on a crit it does 2 wounds. So he has offed the raider. We're not going to get to see what they do. Well, we have once before. They back up, they shoot at range and then run away. There's only one of them, so he goes from the marching order. He would have been before Forge Warden. His card's gone, and we get 1 gold for that. I'll put that over there. Grab ourselves another 1 gold. And then Fire Soul gets to go. She will move onto his tile, little pyromaniac that she is, and she'll chuck. She'll just go with Fireball, because... Oh, you know what? He had defense against physical, didn't he? Oh, he did. I should have rolled 2 and taken the lowest. What would it have been? I'm not going back, but what would it have been? It would have been a miss. I did that wrong, but hey, at least I caught the error. What was I saying? Oh yeah, she's going to chuck her fireball because she can only do one thing. So might as well try and get the kill on a good hit. 7 plus 2 is an 8, 9. Good enough. Is it a crit? We want a crit because the crit will kill him. A 4 is good enough. It does 2 wounds. Blah. However, there is another one, and he activates now, and he is going to attack. 1, 2, and he'll attack Nightfeather, because Nightfeather has that armor. So we need a 9 to block this. Or sorry, an 8 because of his +1. He rolled a critical fail, so that'll be a wound then. Put 1 wound on Nightfeather, and the round ends. So let's see if something spawns on us, because the echo token's in our area, because there's no doors again. A 5. No, I think it needs to be a 1 or a 2. I'll double check. Oh yeah, just double checked, and because it wasn't a 1 or a 2, the echo token doesn't activate, so we're actually safe for another turn. Normally this is where we would shuffle a new marching order. I'm going to give it a go that we're running with the same one. I do feel it's making it a bit too easy, but it's also streamlining it a bit, which I kind of appreciate considering how many fights you're going to have to do in a single chapter. So we're back round to Nightfeather. He's just going to do his basic piercing strike. Oh, and he replenished a fate because he got a crit hit earlier. I remembered eventually. So he is going to attack. TN of 9, but he gets +2 to this roll. He's rolling very high today, so that was a 16. Was it a crit? If it's a crit, he dies. That's a crit. Splat. And he has 1 action left. So we're going to run with the marching order as is, which means it's still Nightfeather, Firesoul, and Forge Warden now. And the turn continues just without the brigands. We get 1 gold. So that is... we're up to 9, I think. Yeah, 9. 9 gold. We're definitely going to be spending at least 7, I think it was, to get a toolkit. He has 1 action left, so he's going to move and prep for next turn. He's just going to be up there, and then that's all he can do. Firesoul's going to do a move. She can move 2, and then she'll do an explore action. It's a room. So I'll come around this side of the camera to get the room numbers. It's a room. It has a lot of combat. Good grief. It will also probably, if I do it long ways like that, it probably will catch the chest, which means the Bardsung symbol on there will be a chest. So the fight is set up. There's a good look at the compass that's on the board as well. 2 raiders smack dab in front of Firesoul, 2 brigands at the back. There was a symbol that in chapter 1 means literally nothing, and again, you don't do the circled enemies if you're not playing with a group larger or 4+ people. We do have to draw a challenge combat card though, and then we draw a new marching order, but keep in mind her passive kicks in for firewalling. We have deep pockets. Let me read this. It seems this mob have just returned from a successful raid. Place a number of timer tokens on this card corresponding to the number of heroes. Because we have 3 heroes, that would be 2 tokens. During the end phase, discard a token from this card. If there are no tokens to discard, discard this card. If this card is still on the marching order, you put this in the marching order? I'll put it above the marching order. When the last enemy is defeated, the heroes gain 3 gold. That's a lot of work for 3 gold. We have to kill quickly, which ain't going to happen because our tank is way behind. Alright, new marching order. I promise you, I know you can't quite see, I am now looking away, my eyes are closed, I am shuffling. This is the marching order. Forge Warden, the Raiders, Nightfeather, Firesoul, Brigand. We have 2 turns to kill them all. I'll just put a d6 on there with a 2, that's fine. So Forge Warden is just going to play catch up, unfortunately. So he's going to move twice for a total of 4. That would be what, 1, 2, and then 3, 4. Does not get him into the action really. Then the Raiders go, they're cautious. They attack at range 2, I think it is. Yep. So they attack and then run away for 1 damage, which means enemies don't get attacks of opportunity, or heroes don't get attacks of opportunity. They're both going to shoot Firesoul, which is not good. So, fair enough. She is going to have to dodge TN 10. Yep, TN 10 twice. No bonus. She blocks the first. She rolled 2 18s in a row. My dice are on fire today. So they back off and fired at her. Then Nightfeather goes. Now let's see, what do we want to do with him? He's the wounded one. He's moving in. Yeah. So he's going to move, which gives him 3. 1, 2 onto this raider and also treasure chest. I think you're allowed to loot the treasure chest when combat's over, incidentally. I don't think you have to do it during combat. And he'll do his piercing strike. He is rolling at disadvantage. I'm remembering this time that the raiders have armor, so roll the both. Take the worst result, but it's still +2. That'd be a 4, 6, not good enough. So he's done. And then Fire Soul herself gets to activate. Didn't she have an AoE spell that costs a fate? Yes. Resolve against every other enemy in the original target's zone. And it's a free action. She'll spend fate to do Conflagration on the square with the 2 brigands. So resolve it against one and then resolve it against the other. Normally it would be TN 9, but she gets a +2 to this, so essentially it's a 7+. 6, not good enough against the other one in the tile. That's good enough. Is it a crit? Absolutely not. So when it's not a crit, it just sets them on fire. But because she set them on fire, she gets the fate back that she just spent. So I'm fine with that. Just put that there. And in that case, she'll chuck a fireball at the one I just set on fire, because I upgraded that skill. So now if she's attacking someone who's on fire, she gets a reroll. Sure, why not? So this is rerollable. 10's good enough as is. Is it a crit? Yes. Which does 2 wounds. He is dead. He would have died if it was just 1 at the end of the round anyway. Fair enough. Then it is the brigands. Closest threat is Nightfeather. Charge and attack him. This is TN 9. He's fine. Amazingly, he would have +1 to that, so it was a 12. Now it's the end of the round though, so I'm going to tick down that deep pockets to 1. Do an event roll. Barely. Barely. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting how zoomed in I am currently. That was a 3, you can see it there. That means the echo token does not activate, which is just as well, because as soon as it activates, we're finding it because there's no doors. We do have to start a new round. Again, I'm just going to keep the same marching order. Let me know in the comments afterwards if you felt it made it too easy, but keep in mind that I feel like my dice have been a bit on fire this time with attacks, so don't hold that against the not shuffling the marching order every turn. Forge Warden, he's going to go in. 1, 2. This tile is very filled. It is a bit of a cluster. I'm going to zoom back in now. I'll try and roll where you can see it. And then he'll do his basic strike, his Mechanica strike on the Brigand, because he does not have resistance to physical. +2 to this, it's a hit. Is it a crit? You better believe it is, which is a wound and a fate token. Which we don't need, because we're at max. But still, I should have done the fate attack. That's him, and then it's the raiders. So the one that's already far away will shoot at Forge Warden, and the other one will shoot... Well, I guess I can pick Forge Warden for both, because they're... Well, the one that's on the tile with Nightfeather is also on the tile with Forge Warden. Yeah, I'll say they're both hitting Forge Warden. So 2 defenses against 10, so there's really 8s because he's +2 to his defense. Oh no, he is +3, so it's 7s. He did, no, that's a 9. He is fine. This raider, Fire Soul, backs off. The other one was already as far backed off as he could be. Then Nightfeather activates. He's going for the big stabs on the Brigand. 17, well, is it a crit? Doesn't matter, he's dead. Splat. So that's the Brigand's gone from the marching order. 1 gold, so that means we're up to 10 in total, which is okay, I suppose. Just put these excess coins away. I don't think we're going to kill the 2 raiders by the end of the turn now. And he has 1 action left. He'll spend fate to chuck a throwing knife at one of the raiders. It counts as a physical attack, so they've got disadvantage, or he's got disadvantage. Worst result is an 11, still hits. Is it a crit? 4 is good enough. Crit with a throwing knife, 2 wounds, and he did a crit, so he gets the fate back. And he kills one of the raiders, just like that. This is feeling more like it. Combat goes a lot smoother if you keep on rolling 10 plus for your attack rolls. Then it would be Fire Soul. She's going to chuck an ember from where she is. She does not need to roll at disadvantage because she's using magic. 6, 7, 8. Not good enough. Fireball. Good enough. Be a crit and win the fight. Ah. Normal hit with a fireball. Just 1 wound. So that means the event ticks down because it's the end of the round. And what happens if it ticks down if I haven't done it? Discard the card. So we did ourselves out of 3 gold. That's unfortunate. What matters more though is the event roll, and I want to make sure this is on camera. There we are. Event roll. Ahaha. The echo token just wanders through the dungeon because there's no closed doors and gets to us. It is the same deck as last time. I'm going to do the same thing because again they have different backgrounds, so I can tell where they are. So I'm just going to. It doesn't really matter if I look or not because I'm going to shuffle and roll a d6. There's 5 cards in this deck. That's the order I'm going with. So I will just roll the d6 and whatever we get, we get. That is a 4. Oh, it wasn't on camera. Hang on. There you go. It was a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It is a giant rat which has found us, so I'll need to look this out because I didn't have it ready. So that is a big old rat that has appeared. I should really move that. D20. We have to do a new marching order because a new enemy has joined for this round. So again, well, I mean, I'm so zoomed in, you're just going to have to take my word for it. I'm looking away and I'll tell you the marching order once I'm finished shuffling. The new marching order is, I dropped the card, I'm going to have to shuffle again, is Fire Soul, Port Warden, the Giant Rat, Night Feather, and the Wounded Raider that's going to die, hopefully. Fire Soul's got a problem though because she's on the same tile as the Giant Rat. The Giant Rat hits the entire tile and does super powerful hits, so you do defense rolls at disadvantage, which means you roll 2, take the worst. So, Ford Warden can. Well, I need him to tank the rat though. She'll chuck a fireball. Yeah, she'll chuck an ember at the raider because she's got the best chance of killing him. With a 16 good enough already. It did not crit, so it only burns him, which actually does matter because that means he would technically get an attack before dying at the end of the round, unless someone else does something to him. Then she's going to chuck a fireball into the rat's face. Does he have... No, he doesn't have any kind of special defense or anything like that. So it's just a straight up roll. TN for him is a 7. 6 plus her bonus of 2. Good enough. Is it a crit? 4. Yeah, they have toughness 3. So that does 2 wounds, which means the rat card is flipped. Let's try and get this in focus. There was his normal side. That was his basic attack, his TN and whatnot. You flip it, and now he's on this side. He's still very mad. And his attacks gain bleed, which doesn't sound good. I've got no idea what that does in this game. Ford Warden will activate. He's going to do... Let's do Crusader Stride. We did upgrade it. Before this attack is resolved, he can be placed in an adjacent zone. If there's another hero in the target zone, he can reroll his attack. Yeah, he'll spend fate to do that. How does he generate fate again? Oh no, whenever he replenishes fate, he gains a buff of some kind. I can't read the symbol, it's too small. Well, he's doing Crusader Stride into here. And he is rolling against a 7 with a +2. He got it. Is that a crit? Nope. So that is 1 wound. The big rat doesn't seem so bad if you nuke it down. That's him done. Oh, speaking of which, big rat attacks. They use the Ferocious, so it's the same as the Brigands, they just want to eat someone. So he's hitting Ford Warden. Ford Warden is +3 to this, but he has to roll at disadvantage. Worst rolls a 5, 6, 7, 8. It's actually good enough, because his TN is 7. So no damage there. And then Night Feather, he will... If the Raider gets a free health, it's not too bad, because the next corridor is going to have the exit. He'll move, yeah, he'll move into the rat, and the tile is getting very full, and he'll stab it with his stabber. It's a 5, plus his bonus of 2 dexterity makes it a 7, means it hits. Does a crit. It actually does also crit. So that is 2 wounds, plus he's allowed to dodge. We'll just dodge over here, back onto the chest. The big rat is dead. Do we get anything for that? Nope. It actually says on it, you get nothing when you beat a wandering monster because they're just there to annoy you. So the wandering rat goes back into the potential echo monsters for the chapter. We might see him again, we might not, who knows. Then the raider goes... Oh, I made Nightfeather the closest target again. I'm an idiot. Alright, well, Nightfeather's got to roll for defense. My rolls are hot. No, it wasn't on camera again, sorry. There it is there. It is a 16. My rolls are very hot today. Nightfeather takes no damage. It would be a new round, but at the end of the round there, the raider burns to death because he was burned. So he's gone. His card disappears from the track. We get 1 gold for our trouble, taking us up to 11. And a new round begins. So I guess we have to roll for an event token. It does not appear. I'm going to keep the marching order as is, so Fire Soul, Forward Ward and Nightfeather. Oh, we got a treasure chest. We actually finally get to see. I was told to look out 4 treasure cards. Here they are. For chapter 1, potential treasure. And I'm going to pick this one at random. Of the 3 I looked at, or 4. I didn't look at any of them instantly. I've got no idea what this is. So the treasure, Bloodstone. What is this? The crimson flecks in this stone pulse hungrily. Dare you smash it and set them free. Discard this card and retrieve card N54 from the narrative vault. What is the narrative vault? Are they talking about the back of the book? It's not a vault, it's a book. Hang on, let me check. I want to check if they refer to the back of this book as a vault. I think they do, you know. I'm trying to see from the start, but I don't want to spoil what it does before I decide. But we all know I'm going to do it. The narrative section. I don't know if that means the same thing, honestly. Because it refers to vaults as in where you keep the cards in the box, but none of them have N on them. So presumably, I'm going to smash it either way. N54. 54. Let's see if this sounds like it's right. As the last foe falls to your blade? Nope. No, that does not sound right. I guess I'm going to look for what this is referencing and be back in a second. Alright, I found the narrative cards it was talking about. It was an additional one hidden in the box with the wings for the big demon that comes in the box. It's little green ones that look like this. And I found the card it's related to. It might not matter unless there's combat in the last corridor we're going to do. So I'll read it out anyway. It's called The Thrill. This one here, if it's in focus, they're very small. Very hard to... There we go, I think that's in focus, more or less. I'll read it anyway. Wildfire in your veins as the Berserk Fury possesses you. Place 5 timer tokens on this card. The hero adds +3 to their attack and damage rolls and must attack the closest enemy if they're able to. At the end of their turn, each other hero in the zone suffers... It's not a wound card, I think that's a serious wound. So don't have Nightfeather on the same space as someone for 3 turns. When this hero makes an attack, remove a token from this card. If there are no tokens to remove, return it to the vault. I'm just going to return it to the vault now, because I presume it also runs out at the end of the dungeon. It might not, I might be wrong about that, for the record. I'm not sure. But either way, it does not seem super relevant. Alright, it's actually been like 20 minutes for me because I had a family member visit, so I don't remember if I did end of turn echo roll or event roll. So I'm going to do another one just in case. Nothing happened anyway. So either way, we're running with the marching order as is. So Fire Soul is up. She's going to move 2 as the first action. 1, 2. Actually, where was the doors in this room? To the right and to the upper left. Yeah. Okay, so she can go from where she is, and her other action will be an explore, and that means we draw a corridor because we're in a room. And that is perfect for getting out, but there is a couple of enemies in our way. So we've got ourselves a brigand and a brute guarding the stairs out because we've touched the far edge of a table. We also need to draw a challenge card, and it is going to be cornered. Their eyes feral, the foes are cornered and desperate, and all the more dangerous for enemies add +2 to their TN. if they are the only enemy in their zone. So currently not applying because they're in the same one, but we need to quickly do a marching order again. Just take my word for it that I'm shuffling and not looking as I shuffle. The battle order is going to be the Brigand, Forge Warden, and then Night Feather, Brute, Fire Soul. So she's going last, that's not good. The Brigand goes first and we'll simply go and attack her as is. So his TN counts as being, because they're not in the same zone anymore, so +2, so it's 11. She actually blocked it, that's a 12, so that's fine. And then Forge Warden, he's just going to double move. 1, 2. Actually no, from there he could do Crusader Stride for a Fate. I'll flip a Fate token, which means it's a move and an attack. So he'll move in here and say, hello, Brigand old chum, I'm going to stab ya. Yeah, he is, with a 17. Attack rolls have been on fire. Is it a crit? It is a crit. What does that do on a crit again? It does 1 wound and a push. Is that relevant, the push? Not really, because you can't push between tiles, I believe. So he'll take the wound. I hope the push is optional, I'm actually not sure. Incidentally, we're obviously not getting the other treasure chest on the map, but for finding the one we did, that actually gives us 1 XP for the chapter. So if we finish this encounter as well by getting out, we'll get 2 instead of 1 for doing everything. So next is Night Feather. He'll also come onto his tile and say hello with his stabber. Yep, even with the bonus. And he critted him, but it didn't matter because he's dead. Thank you for playing. Well, we'll need that heart, so let's not move it too far away. So the Brigand disappears from the marching order and we get 1 other gold, taking us to 12 in total in our little pool of gold here. Then the Brute activates, so he's just going to lumber forth and smack us. Right there, and I'm going to say Forge Warden takes the hit. And because he's the only enemy now, he's got a TN of 10. +3 to this though, he's fine, good grief. Fire Soul! She's best against him because she doesn't care that he's got better armor against physical attacks. Ember! 18! Is it a crit? No. What does that do on a normal hit? It burns, which gives her a Fate regeneration. Where's my Ember token? Burn. There we are. And then she'll do Fireball, which gets a reroll because he's on fire, thanks to us leveling it up. She doesn't need it, she rolled a 16. Is it a crit? You better believe it's a crit. Oh, so no, sorry, on his tough side it needs to be a 6, so never mind. It's a normal hit, which is a wound. But we're now at the end of the round anyway. The burn procs does the other wound. He flips his card over. He no longer has his better armor because he's gone mad. End of turn event roll. The echo token does appear, so a new echo has wandered in. You'll just have to take my word for it at the bottom of the map. And we're back around to Forge Warden, who is going to slice with his sword. There's no longer any armor to worry about, but there is a higher TN, although his +2 bonus counters his +2 bonus, so that's still a hit. Not a crit, so it's just 1 wound. He has another action left. We're about to end this, so yeah, he's going to do Judgment for a Fate token. Let's see, upgrade the damage on this. This is, oh, if there was extra enemies. Doesn't matter, still an extra hit, that's what we want. Looking for 10? Oh, he missed. Night Feather then. Stabbers. Not good enough. What will he do instead then? We have 1 Fate token left. He'll chuck a throwing knife. Not good enough. Alright. It's down to Fire Soul then. Again, Ember followed by Fireball. That rolled off camera, but it was a 4, so it was a miss. Fireball. That hits. Please kill. Oh, he's already dead. He's only got 1 wound. Yep, he's dead twice over because it crit. And because of the crit, we get the Fate token back, although I've been replenishing all Fate when we finish an encounter, which, as in, like, the whole map is an encounter. We get 2 gold for the Brute being removed from the marching order, bringing us to 14. And technically we should do another round to walk out the stairs, but I'm just going to say we made it, and as a result we can spend our gold. Everyone earned 2 XP, 1 for doing the encounter, 1 for opening a treasure chest. I'm not going to spend it this time, I think. I am going to spend the 14 gold we earned. I'll need to double check what's more important and how much it costs. I can't remember if it's 7 to replenish or 10. And we also have a narrative to read out for doing this as well. Alright, it is 7 gold to replenish a lost bit of kit, so I'm spending all 14 on replenishing 2 toolkits. So now the only bit of kit we're missing is 1 healing potion, which might come back to bite me, but I think the toolkits are more useful. So for finishing 1B, we have to read Narrative Event 105 from the book. So let me just flip to that. A huge pair of doors await ahead, barring the way. Tall sheets of iron, still proud when so much around them has crumbled and corroded. Of course, they'd have to be locked. Life would be too easy otherwise. From experience, you know not to try and force them open. Craftsmanship like this is made solid and unyielding to fight off the ravages of time. Even combined, your strength would make little difference to that. My English teacher from secondary school disagrees because I wrote a door like that, and in the notes in the English exam, she scribbled in her red pen, "Is this logical?" when I put the 2 characters can break down a huge wooden door with iron fixings. Anyway, sorry, random aside. If you want to progress, you'll need to search around for a key or find another entrance instead. What's more appealing, looking through the ruins or wandering off into the mist again? So that's indicating that we have a choice. We can take a shortcut to the end of the chapter. Let me show you the book actually, so that you know what I'm talking about. Bring it down here. I'm sorry for the in-camera editing. There we go. So we've just finished this. We did this last time, did this. We can go down here, read narrative 303 and take this shortcut here. And I think that symbol means fixed narrative encounter, which basically means it's going to be a 1-room fight. The locked door is here. You also have to read the same narrative event if you get through it. And we have another chance at treasure and more narrative if we are willing to put in the extra work to go do another delve. It's exactly the same type. That's what the symbol means. It's go from the south to the north, which is a little repetitive, but we have more chance at loot and we might get a bonus benefit from the story. I genuinely don't know. I haven't read. But there's obviously more story because it's telling us to read a different thing going that way. And that will give us another exit to the chapter if we go to 1E instead of 1D, because those are the 2 possible exits for the chapter 1. So I think we're going to go to 1C and see what happens, pardon the pun, and hold on to our 2 XP for now. I might change my mind between now and when I record the next one. Apologies for anything done wrong, obviously, as we've been discussing in the comments. Rules are a little nebulous. Steamforged games, you've got to have house rules. You've just got it. It's the way they go. But other than that, there's still some potential XP to earn. When we do 1 more encounter, we will get 1 XP. And if we do the whole chapter, we get 3. It costs a minimum of 3 to buy a new skill incidentally. If you buy one from your own skill tree, it costs 3. You can buy from any skill tree, but they cost 4. If you want to like multi-class. I don't really think I want to do that, but it's an option. And to upgrade a base stat costs whatever it is you want to upgrade to. So if you want to get it to +2, it would cost 2 XP. As far as I'm aware. I don't like how that part's worded, because if you're at, say, like a 0 stat increase in strength, does that mean you just need to spend 1 to get 1 strength bonus? Or do you spend 1 on top of a base cost of 1 because you're at tier 1, which is 0? I know that's confusing. That's why I don't fully understand. I would like if they had a couple of examples to make it more clear. But either way, this has been a bit more Bardsung 1A, 1B done. Come back next time for 1C. Until then, thanks for watching, and ta-ta for now.